welcome to
another edition of Blase Blah.
There you go. We rehearsed that, didn't we, Steve? Hours and hours to do that, didn't it? And we pulled it off. Bam! On the money. But listen, what we're talking
He always tries to pull the wall out from under the floor, the carpet from under my feet.
Well, you got occasionally. Now listen, listen. I hope you enjoyed our first logo intro sequence at the beginning. This is going to be our initial video.
Is this going to be the first one we're going to
I'm just going to put it on this one, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So ignore the last one when we said we were going to put it on, because we're not putting it on. We're putting it on this one. Usually just made a unilateral decision there, didn't it?
Yeah, I did. I mean, do you know what I did is I designed a logo last week, and I'm not happy with it, to be honest with you. Yeah. And the sequence, it's okay, it's good, but I don't think it's us at the moment. It's just something.
What is us?
Like a brand.
What is us usually?
It will evolve and it will get better. So I hope you enjoyed it's a little bit cut up, a little bit roughly, but anyway, it's out there.
I think you'll like it probably more than you maybe like us, but it's all right.
Absolutely. I think the sound, what's going to happen is going to have real loud sound at the beginning of the sequence, as you've probably known. And then you're going to hear this in this echoey room with a bad mic. In fact, I've got my mic here and I've got to put it on. This is how organic we are. I'm going to put it on. There you go. No. There you go. We're keeping it natural.
I've got on an angle now. I'm at an angle.
You're at angle. There you go.
I'm always fighting for space in this.
Sorry, I don't want to be. I don't want to leave Steve out.
I'm actually.
There you go. That's a good one.
I know I look small compared to him. I'm actually 6'8", but it's just him. He's always just pushing me out all the time. Pushing me.
Anyway, what's our subject?
Today Steve? We are going to talk about the BBC.
The fantastic BBC.
Okay, now
British Broadcasting Corporation. Yeah.
Okay.
Or some people would say the British Broadcasting Con.
You got me there.
I just made it up.
Okay.
I'm a genius. What can I tell you?
What we're talking about today, with all the options out there.
Sure.
Via the internet and the humongous amount of channels you've got on.
What's the title? Do we need a BBC licence?
Do we need a BBC? Well, no. Or should we have to pay for a BBC licence?
Yeah. Should we? Yeah. Do we need the BBC?
Okay. Well, I am a big Beeb fan, so I'm going to say I'm happy to pay my TV licence to watch the BBC. Eugene here is another animal when it comes to the BBC, though, aren't you?
I certainly am. Listen, I'm not against the BBC. I think it's a great institution, yeah, but actually I'm not really for institutions in the same way. I'm going against everything I believe in. Do you know what it is?
It's not another conspiracy theory, is it?
No, there's
British Broadcasting conspiracy.
No. Well, but one thing I do, we're being invaded. We're being invaded. Oh my goodness! Thank you.
Oh, look. I don't know you. What's your name?
Sienna. This is my neighbour,
nice
Sienna. How are you doing, darling?
Fine.
You're on YouTube. Say hello. Thank you for this. She's brought us some drinks. Thank you, Sienna. Take care.
I've got another drink there. Wow.
That's my neighbour downstairs.
Nice fruit juices.
She basically lives in our house occasionally. She needs to stop paying rent up in it.
Right.
But thank you, Sienna, for bringing us this fresh juice.
Nice. Is it good?
It's good. Now, what we're going to be talking about is BBC, as we've just said. Now, do we need a licence, Steve?
Well, I think
in today's world, 2018, we've got Netflix, we've got Amazon, we've got Virgin, you've got Sky.
How many Freeview channels you got?
I mean, Netflix in itself has got loads of amazing documentaries. You've got Freeviews, we've got the internet. Do we need to be paying? How much is the licence? 100 and something pounds?
It's about 100 plus a year, isn't it?
100 and something a year. I think I'm going to look this up live. Our first look.
First live look up. He's going for it. He's going.
BBC license. There you go.
I was going to keep talking.
License fee. Here you go. What is it?
So the total cost is it's gone up to £147 for the year.
£147 a year. Now, is that worth the money?
Personally,
in 2018, is that worth the money?
Personally,
is that worth the money in 2018 that we pay £145 because if you've got a television,
Maybe they need to become more competitive with their pricing. Because £147. What's say Netflix? What's that? £5-6 a month. So for a year, you can get it for about £70-80. Maybe they need to bring it down. Maybe they need to, because it does sound quite pricey compared to the other stuff out there. But then again, you've got Amazon. I mean, Virgin. How much would you pay for that?
well, I don't think the argument is just about whether they should bring the price down. It's whether that we should have the option to opt out.
Yeah, okay.
Because I mean, bringing the price down for something that you don't need. Some people don't even want. They don't really care. I mean, in today's world, the British Broadcasting Corporation, they're literally are sort of out of date.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you had the choice to opt out, would you opt out?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, okay.
Because people say, "Oh, you need the BBC because they're news you can trust and stuff." I don't even know if you can trust the BBC up to a certain degree.
Well, it's just
you can trust them if you start comparing them to like CNN and Fox News.
Yeah, well,
that's a really slim negative pool of options of value there. Of course, you can trust the BBC a little bit more than the.
Well, what about the rich dearth of comedy that we've had over the years from BBC? Could you live without The Office, for example? If you could never have watched The Office,
is exceptional. Good point you're bringing up here. Office is brilliant, but yeah, you know what? To hell with The Office.
Okay, live without The Office. Peter Kay, could you live without Peter Kay? Phoenix Nights.
Steve, it looks like you've been doing a little bit. You've just jumped out with a whole bunch of stuff here. Peter Kay's exceptional. All these people are. Ebony, we're filming.
God, sorry.
You could live without Peter Kay then.
Can I live with Peter? Yeah. Well, no. Look, Peter Kay is really great, but I'm sure there would have been other opportunities for Peter Kay. Okay. But my point is not whether they had. BBC has got all this quality stuff coming through. It's the fact that they're forcing you to pay a license. Because you've got a television. It's like if they came out of like forcing you to have to pay for a radio. You should have, in today's world, you have an option to be with Netflix. You have an option to be with Amazon. You have an option to be with Virgin. BBC's not giving you no options to opt out. They're trying to say to you, well, you've got to remove a television. But now this is where I say, so you don't need a television to pay a license.
You raise fair points. I mean, when I think about it, logically, it does make sense. I think that they definitely need to look at that. I mean, but do you think the future will twist their arm up their back and they'll have to stop charging?
I don't know how long this BBC thing's going to last. It's got a time limit, so how much they can charge, and they force people to, because I don't even think we're working on the same systems no more. We're only things are cabled differently. We're on digital, aren't we now?
Like you said, what if you watched everything through your computer screen and you don't watch anything to do with BBC or iPlayer?
Well, absolutely. Well, don't you also? You can't just log into iPlayer without having a BBC account.
Well, they keep asking me, when I log into it, they keep asking me to set an account up, and I always just ignore it. So I seem to get away without doing it. But technically, I think you have to have a license to watch iPlayer.
Which is really understandable. But if you don't want to watch iPlayer, don't watch iPlayer.
But,
all I'm saying is that it should be an option for you to say, I don't want to be with BBC.
There is a burning question I use, is, if you did decide to give that option up and live without BBC, could you really live without EastEnders?
Very amusing, Steve. That's the reason why Steve said that. He knows I can't stand EastEnders for a number of reasons, because I don't think it really captures London and the problems of what London's really have. Just stays in that. It's a drama, isn't it? It is what it is. But anyway, without digressing, I could live without EastEnders. But the question is could you, Steve, live without EastEnders?
One time I probably couldn't.
Because
I have to hold my hands
up.
Can
you live with it?
I have to hold my hands up. So one time I probably couldn't have done, but I can live without it now. But I think actually, when we started this today and we planned to talk about it, I was felt very strongly about the fact that the BBC should keep going and it seemed reasonable to pay to watch the BBC. But I think the points raised here today have made me think quite a lot, and I think that really it should be down to the individual to decide whether they want to pay a licence and watch BBC or decide to opt out.
No, absolutely. I just think that you should have the option. In 2018, you shouldn't be forced to have a television and to pay the BBC if you don't want the BBC. And the BBC also, literally, they're possibly catering for society. I mean, in the last few years, BBC, you've taken your hands off the ball with doing shows on Caribbean and black people. I mean, if I'm yeah, of course. I mean, they're only doing it now because they're starting to realise, oh my goodness, we need to get some diversity.
And do you feel that you get that much more from the American TV?
Of course you do. You see people of colour on there. Sometimes you don't want to see the British narrative of English people living their life and what's it called, Downton Abbey and all that kind of.
That's ITV.
Is that? I do apologise, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Is that
they do have a lot of period dramas, so I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
I want options because people that are like minorities, like if I'm Chinese, I'm British Chinese.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't see anything on British Chinese. Why am I paying for this license? I don't want to watch anything but other people's culture. If I'm Turkish and I don't see any Turkish programs or stuff, why should I be paying for a license that don't represent my backgrounds? Caribbean, why am I paying this money? It doesn't really.
So, would you pay for a Caribbean channel? If it was a British Caribbean.
Now, if they had a Caribbean channel on the BBC or things that do, then I'd say, okay, great. Okay. I'll pay for it because it's maybe something that I'm interested in. Not particularly just because it's Caribbean, but I'm just saying if you're from Caribbean, it might be, they should have elements where you're with the BBC, you've got the main BBC, which is obviously going to cater to the British English. And you got like minority BBC where you're catering channels that are interested in programs and films and shows that are catering.
But did you always feel like this from a young child?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, did you used to boycott Play School, for example?
No, because Play School had all different types of minorities in Play School.
They had Derek Griffiths. He was black.
Derek Griffiths, exceptional and authentically.
He still is black.
He still is black. Is he still?
He's still black. Yeah, okay. He's still black.
In complexion. But we literally, you grew up. You want to see a world that you're into. If you see a world that you're not being represented in, why am I have to pay for a world that I'm not being represented?
I must admit, I can't ever remember seeing any black on Blue Peter. Oh, they did have a black. They had later on they did, but I actually talk about the kids that they brought on in the 70s. I can't remember many black kids ever coming on to Blue Peter.
And that's why minority kids were interested in Sesame Street. But
Sesame Street as well.
Sesame Street exceptional, and why? Because it painted a world of New York with diversity, with black kids you never even saw before. So you had more engaged. Now, if you asked to pay for that. Back in the days, people, minorities would say, yeah, I'm going to pay for that because they've seen themselves. Yeah. But why have we got to be forced to pay that? And all different cultures, you're not representing it. You're not representing the BBC. So it's got a time limit.
The Turks and Chinese should be
not
forced to pay for BBC.
No, yeah, they should be. Why am I paying for it? Why are they paying for it? It doesn't represent the culture or society of what's happening in the UK. Okay. So, I just think we should be having an option to I'd rather have Netflix and, other shows than the BBC. What do you think?
The thing is, I don't want to break your heart, because I know, basically I wouldn't opt out too soon because this is an exclusive. I heard that Breaking Bad 2 is going to be commissioned by the BBC. So how do you feel now?
Now, Steve, here he comes again with his other stuff. Now, Breaking Bad, I'm a massive fan of that. If they did do that, oh my goodness, that would be exceptional.
You pay your license for that, wouldn't it?
Breaking Bad 2, where literally we're going to digress
into
a Breaking Bad
conversation. Another time, actually.
We will do. But listen, what do you think? Do you think
it's true
that we should be paying? You should have the option to come out on the BBC.
If you're watching this video, let us know what you think.
Yeah, and also just before we close in. Also, there's all the corruption with the BBC, with all the pay scales and people up in the league getting paid high money, spending our money. You got the BBC, see the guys wearing North Face, and that's all our money's going in with all these. What's going on? The BBC like semi-corrupt. Or the Brexit vote.
I don't know about semi-corrupt views. That's pushing it a bit.
I don't want to say it's semi. I don't know. I need But I'm not saying BBC semi-corrupt.
That's not.
But biased, I apologise. Corruption's the wrong word, but biased. Okay. Because even like with the Brexit vote things, they were very. on the other side. They were more sort of, you know, BBC are part of the
He's got
establishment.
Brexit again. He's got Brexit.
No,
again.
but BBC is part of the
Okay, should
establishment.
we wrap it up here now? Anyway.
Okay, great. Let's do this. Bye-bye.
Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you on another edition of Blase Blah.
And just in closing, what do you think? Do you think we need
Yeah,
to pay for the license?
All they know is blase, blase,